Major transfer shake-up at Manchester United. From a Pogba bombshell to a £34 million midfield chase and even a surprise Barcelona medical, you don't want to miss this. Stay tuned for all the breaking updates from Old Trafford. Man Utd star Paul Pogba drops transfer bombshell in fresh twist to saga. Paul Pogba will return to football this summer after his doping ban and is tipped to join Monaco, but the ex-Manchester United midfielder insists no deal has been struck. Paul Pogba insists he hasn't signed anything amid reports the ex-Manchester United star is about to join Monaco. The Frenchman has been out of the game for nearly 2 years due to a doping ban and is looking for a new club. Most recently, he had been on the books at Juventus, but the Italian side have shown no interest in bringing him back for a third time. Pogba is now into his 30s but has proved to be hugely talented throughout his career, even if consistency has evaded him. Monaco, who are in the Champions League, are ready to take a put on the World Cup winner, with Le Parisien reporting last week that Pogba was set to join the Ligue 1 side on a free transfer after agreeing a 2-year deal. They claimed he had made significant financial sacrifices to secure the deal. It would be a huge boost for Monaco, with Pogba potentially returning to his homeland for the first time since leaving Le Havre in 2009. However, the player has come out and poured water on the idea of heading to the Riviera. He said on Sergio Aguero's podcast, La Casa del Cuen, "I haven't signed anything, but there's interest. We'll see." Pogba has also flirted with the idea of heading to South America to play with Argentine giants Boca Juniors, citing their fans as a huge draw. He said, "In life, you never know. I love the people who went to see Boca's match at the Club World Cup. It's crazy because I went to Marseille, which is hot, Naples is hot, but Boca. I've never seen that in my life." The Frenchman's career is yet to hit the heights that were once expected of him. He first hit the heights when he left Manchester and excelled at Juventus, which prompted those at Old Trafford to spend a club record fee to bring him back when Jose Mourinho was in charge. However, his 6 years in Manchester were hugely inconsistent, and, after claiming 2 trophies in his first year, he failed to pick up any more silverware. He returned to Juventus when his contract expired, but the old lady were not the force of old and his stint was somewhat underwhelming. Pogba did previously underline his desire to again play for Les Blues during an interview with Sky Sports. He said, "I hope. It is in my mind for sure. I have to be ready for that. There are players who deserve to play and I have to win my place back. I am ready to fight." Man United transfer agreement reached as Ruben Amorim set for £20 million windfall boost. Manchester United transfer news as Jadon Sancho reportedly agrees contract proposal from Fenerbahce's exit closes in. Manchester United could be about to get Jadon Sancho out of the door and receive a much-welcomed transfer windfall. Sancho is one of 4 players that United are prioritizing the departures of this summer alongside Marcus Rashford, Antony and Alejandro Garnacho. The need to sell players has been made a necessity to raise funds for United's flurry of incomings. Matheus Cunha has already signed from Wolves for £62.5 million, and an improved offer for Bryan Mbeumo in excess of £60 million has been made in the last 24 hours. More signings are anticipated but rely heavily on the success of selling players. After Chelsea paid a £5 million penalty to terminate their obligation to purchase Sancho, United have been scrambling to find the right deal for the 25-year-old. Sancho's contract is up in 2026, meaning this summer represents their last realistic chance of banking a fee. Interest has been growing from Italy, with Juventus reportedly exploring the possibility of offering Dusan Vlahovic and Douglas Luiz to sign the forward. Napoli, who also want Garnacho, have also been credited with interest. However, according to reports coming out of Turkey, Sancho has reached an agreement on personal terms with Fenerbahce over a permanent switch. Sabahspor have claimed that Sancho has accepted a contract offer worth around £8.5 million per year, with negotiations with United underway. That report has been followed by journalist Orazio Ackermann claiming that the Turkish powerhouse has launched an offer worth €18 million, £15.3 million, falling slightly short of United's valuation of around £20 million to £25 million. Sancho's exit gathering pace comes at the perfect time for United, with growing doubt over their quality to cash in on players no longer needed. A quick move for the England international alongside potential exits for Garnacho and Antony could accelerate United's bid to sign a centre-forward. Man United transfer plan takes huge step forward as Barcelona book medical. Latest Manchester United transfer news and rumors as Men Sport provide analysis on the latest Marcus Rashford rumors. The whereabouts of Marcus Rashford come summer transfer deadline is the answer to a question Manchester United are crucially trying to solve. Forced out by Ruben Amorim last December, the 27-year-old was left with no alternative but to join Aston Villa for a half-season loan spell. By all means, that was successful with 4 goals and 6 assists in 17 appearances for Unai Emery's side, though a permanent switch has not materialized in spite of there being a £40 million option, and this has left Man United to find an alternative solution in the market. This summer, Rashford has been the subject of an inquiry from Inter Milan, whilst potentially lucrative moves to Saudi Arabia or Turkey have not been entertained by the player himself. But there is one club tied to this situation that could soon bring it to an end. With that, the Manchester Evening News analyses the latest transfer headlines circling Old Trafford with Rashford the focus. Barcelona latest. According to TalkSport, Barcelona have started to explore the signing of Rashford this summer. One bonus of this scenario is that it does not appear to be impacted by Barca's intention to sign Spanish winger Nico Williams from Athletic Bilbao. They would like to acquire Rashford in addition to their top target. However, the negative for Man United would be that the La Liga champions are only hopeful of securing a loan deal, not a permanent transfer. Men Sport says there are pros and cons to this scenario. On the one hand, the whole point of letting Marcus Rashford leave again this window is to find him a permanent home, not a temporary one. But if Man United allow time to run out again this summer, then they are going to be left with no alternative. When the other option would be to let one of their highest earners kill time in the reserves for a whole season, alone would be what is best at the end of the day. Space opens at Barca with medical planned. Barca are seemingly about to open up the space for Rashford in their squad by allowing Ansu Fati to leave on loan for the new season. The 22-year-old winger was once destined for greatness at the new camp but has since seen his career impacted by injuries. Now, Fabrizio Romano has given his "here we go" to a temporary move to League One outfit AS Monaco. Plans are in place for Fati to travel on Wednesday and complete his medical by the end of the week. Men Sport says Man United and Barca sound like kindred spirits this summer. Taking a portion of Fati's wages off their books will help in efforts to recruit key targets this summer, even if that is just loan signings like Rashford. Meanwhile, Amorim would benefit from his own winger's loan move as it creates physical and financial room for the likes of Bryan Mbeumo and a striker to join. Man United £34 million midfielder transfer as 2 Premier League clubs brutally rejected. Club Brugge starlet Arden Jashari is the subject of strong interest from England, and Italian giants AC Milan have now kick-started the bidding for the Switzerland international. Manchester United have held talks with the representatives of Club Brugge midfielder Arden Jashari. AC Milan are currently leading the race for the highly coveted 22-year-old after submitting an opening £25.6 million offer. Milan's bid is worth a base fee in the region of £21.3 million plus around £4.3 million in add-ons, but Club Brugge are requesting a £34 million package, €40 million, in order to agree to a sale. Manchester City had also considered a swoop for the Belgian Jupiler Pro League Player of the Year prior to finalizing the arrival of Tijani Reinders from Milan for £46.3 million. United have too expressed interest in recent weeks, but so far, Jashari is yet to have warmed to a move to Old Trafford, having also politely rejected advances from both Fulham and West Ham. Ruben Amorim's side are keen to strengthen their midfield ranks as free agent Christian Eriksen will need replacing, but they're currently prioritizing improving their attacking options, and further spending is expected to be dictated by player sales. Fulham had identified Jashari as among their top summer targets, but the Swiss international's representatives are understood to have made it clear ahead of the summer window that their client favors a move to a club that can offer Champions League football. Borussia Dortmund were also willing to make a serious play for Jashari if their pursuit of Jobe Bellingham had fallen short, while Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain have also made checks on the talented midfielder, but so far, Milan are the only side to submit a formal proposal. Edu had previously earmarked Jashari as a potential signing for the future during his time in charge of Arsenal when the fresh-faced maestro was playing for FC Luzern in Switzerland. Gunners' recruitment staff have continued to follow the player since, but so far, It remains to be seen whether they're interested in a swoop this summer, even though Arsenal are likely to dip into the market for another midfielder if Thomas Partey departs the Emirates on a free transfer. AC Milan still have work to do in order to get a transfer over the line, as Jashari's reps anticipate that other suitors are now poised to enter the fray. The Italian giants have also been targeting Granit Xhaka, but so far, a deal with Bayer Leverkusen looks somewhat complex. The Rossoneri are also working on the arrival of Torino's Italy international starlet Samuel Ricci. Manchester United transfer decision shows key lessons are being learned. Man United transfer latest with the Reds linked with a move for Chelsea striker Christopher Nkunku. Manchester United are trying to right transfer wrongs. The Reds have made a collection of expensive recruitment mistakes in the past decade and, facing a crucial summer, are determined to get things right this time around. United have improved their offer for Brentford's Bryan Mbeumo and remain confident of landing the forward. They have already secured the signature of Matheus Cunha from Wolves, having activated his release clause. In recent days, United have been linked with a surprising switch for Chelsea frontman Christopher Nkunku. The Manchester Evening News understands Nkunku is not a priority target for Ruben Amorim's side. The Reds are keen to land a figurehead for their attack, having been beaten to the signing of Liam Delap by Chelsea. But Nkunku, 27, is not an out-and-out striker. He started 22 games for Chelsea last season, with only 9 coming in the Premier League. He also lost his place in the France squad this year and has not played in more than 2 months due to injury. He has struggled since signing for the Blues from RB Leipzig in 2023. The former PSG man caught the eye in Germany with a string of impressive performances, and Chelsea shelled out more than £50 million for his services. But he's managed just 11 Premier League starts in 2 injury-hit campaigns and has slipped down the pecking order at Stamford Bridge. In avoiding a move for the 14-cap France international, United have seemingly learned from their recruitment mistakes of the past. Nkunku has a dire recent injury record, and the Reds cannot afford to add another player to their squad who has question marks over his ability to stay fit. He is also at an age where there would be very little resale value should he be sold down the line, while he is not a natural fit for a central striker position. United have been rightly criticized for their recruitment in recent years, and perhaps in past eras would have seen Nkunku as a viable solution. But under Ineos there has been a shift towards younger players with high ceilings, while even the additions of Cunha and Mbeumo are proven Premier League players with goal-scoring returns, something Nkunku has not yet managed in 2 years in England. United signed Mason Mount from Chelsea in 2023, and he has struggled amid fitness issues. There is little to suggest the talented but seemingly fragile Nkunku will fare much better. It's a gamble the Reds are right to avoid. Manchester United not giving up on £25 million midfielder deal as West Ham consider bold Chelsea signing. Rounding up this morning's biggest Premier League transfer rumors with news from Man United, Chelsea, West Ham and Brighton. With rumors flying around thick and fast, 3 added minutes are here to help you keep up to date with all the latest Premier League transfer stories, and we'll kick off our roundup of this morning's biggest news with an update for Manchester United fans. According to Belgian outlet HLN, the Red Devils have not given up on signing Swiss midfielder Arden Jashari from his current employer's Club Brugge, despite the fact that AC Milan have apparently lodged a €30 million, £25 million bid for him. Borussia Dortmund are also interested in the 22-year-old who has 2 caps for his country, but it's Milan who have made the first move, a move that is supposedly set to fail, with Brugge, who want €40 million, £34 million, reluctant to sell. United show concrete interest in making a bid at some stage, but there's one problem should they decide to enter the bidding, because Amorim's side are less attractive to Jashari given the sporting situation. He supposedly turned down a move to Fulham in the past, and it doesn't sound like the Cottagers are planning to try again. Down to the capital now, according to Caught Offside, West Ham United manager Graham Potter is keen on a reunion with his former charges, Chelsea goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. The Spaniard's position as Chelsea's number 1 is under threat, and Potter, who managed Sanchez at Brighton and Hove Albion, is plotting a summer move should Alphonse Areola leave the club, the latter detail coming from the original source story in the Times, which is behind a paywall. Chelsea, for their part, won't stand in Sanchez's way should he wish to leave, and are said to be looking to get rid of him, while the player himself would probably be happy to make the switch to the London Stadium. No word on how much he might cost. The 3AM verdict, Given that Ariela had an underwhelming season and lost his starting spot for a while, it's not a major shock to see West Ham contemplating a replacement. A deal for Sanchez would probably be fairly straightforward to sort out, and for all that he's made some high-profile errors, he also ended the 2024-25 season with the best save percentage of any Premier League goalkeeper. So it might not be a bad move for the Hammers to make. Brighton have been pretty busy so far in the summer transfer window, but it sounds like they'll need to step up their game as they pursue another promising young player. Sport Witness report on claims that their bid for Flamengo defender Wesley Franca is currently too low to move the needle. The initial offer of €20 million, £17 million will be rejected, according to a Brazilian journalist, with Flamengo hoping to get at least €30 million, £25 million for the 21-year-old. Supposedly, they expect more bids to arrive in the coming days, not necessarily.